There's a certain kind of silence that follows when you finally stop, when the words no or enough leave your lips for the first time in years. It's not peaceful, it's charged, like the split-second pause before a detonation. The people who've grown accustomed to your endless patience, your swallowed pride, your forced smiles, they freeze. Their eyes widen just for a fraction of a second, as if they've just witnessed something impossible. You pushing back, and in that moment, you realize something terrifying. They never expected you to fight. This isn't just about setting boundaries. This is about rewriting the rules of engagement. The moment you stop being nice to the wrong people, you set off a chain reaction, one that exposes who they truly are and, more importantly, who you could have been all along. Let's talk about what really happens. The illusion of niceness, how society traps you in a cycle of exploitation. We've been conditioned to believe that niceness equals goodness, but here's the truth. Niceness is a social currency, not a virtue. Think about it. When was the last time someone praised you for being kind when it cost you something? When you stayed late at work? When you loaned money you never got back? When you swallowed an insult to keep the peace? Now ask yourself, who benefits from this arrangement? Certainly not you. The Stoics saw through this illusion. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled Rome during its most brutal wars, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people never realize this. They think that if they're nice enough, they'll be rewarded, loved, respected, but life doesn't work that way. The psychological experiment that exposed human exploitation. In 2003, psychologists conducted a study where they had participants play a simple money-sharing game. One person, the giver, could choose to share or keep a sum of cash. The other, the taker, could accept or reject the offer. Here's what happened. When the giver was fair, the taker usually accepted. When the giver was too generous, the taker still accepted, but with less gratitude. But when the giver stopped being generous, the taker lost their mind. Sound familiar? This is what happens when you stop being nice to the wrong people. They don't just walk away, they get angry. Because in their minds, your generosity wasn't a gift, it was an entitlement, and you just revoked it. The reckoning. What happens when you stop complying? Phase 1. The backlash. The first reaction you'll get is resistance. People who've built their comfort on your compliance don't just let go easily. They'll try. Guilt tripping. After everything I've done for you. Funny how they never mention what you've done for them. Gaslighting. You're overreacting. Translation. I don't like that you're asserting yourself. Public shaming. Wow, you've changed. Yes, finally. This is where most people cave. They mistake this backlash for proof that they're doing something wrong. But the Stoics had a term for this, the test of will. If someone tries to drag you into their drama, remember, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Phase 2. The smear campaign. If guilt doesn't work, they'll escalate. Ever noticed how the nicest people are often the ones who get trashed the moment they stop bending over backward? That's not an accident. Toxic people rely on social pressure to keep you in line. If you stop playing your role, they'll paint you as the villain. He used to be so kind. She's become so selfish. Who does he think he is? This is where most people break. They'd rather return to their old role than deal with the discomfort of being misunderstood. But here's the Stoic counter. If you live for others' approval, you will die by their rejection. Phase 3. The silence, and why it's the most dangerous part. After the backlash, after the smear campaign, there comes a silence. This is where they wait. They're betting on you caving, on you missing them, on you crawling back. This is the real test. Because if you stay silent too, if you hold the line, something incredible happens. They leave, not because they want to, but because they realize you're no longer a source. And that's when you experience the rebirth. What happens when you stop feeding the wrong people? You start sleeping like a king. Ever notice how the most selfless people are also the most exhausted? That's not a coincidence. When you stop pouring energy into black holes, something strange happens. Your energy returns. You sleep deeper. You wake up lighter because you're no longer carrying the weight of people who never cared if you collapsed under it. Your standards skyrocket. Once you stop tolerating disrespect, you start detecting it faster. Like a man who quits sugar and suddenly tastes the oversweetness in everything, you'll start noticing the friend who only calls when they need something, The coworker who takes credit for your work. The partner who treats you like an option, and instead of justifying it, you'll do something radical. You'll walk away. The right people appear. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you remove the leeches, you make space for allies. People who respect boundaries don't push against them. They appreciate them. As Seneca wrote, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is mutual. You become unpredictable, and that's a good thing. The most dangerous man in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one nobody can control. When you stop being predictably nice, you become unreadable, and that's when you realize power isn't taken, it's surrendered, and you just stopped surrendering yours. The Stoics' wrath, how to cut off the wrong people without becoming a monster. This isn't about vengeance, it's about justice. The Stoics weren't heartless, they were ruthlessly selective. Here's how to do it right. The no explanation rule. You don't owe parasites an explanation for why you're no longer their host. Epictetus said it best. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let them wonder. The art of strategic indifference. Not hatred, not revenge, just calculated disengagement. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. So don't fight them. Outlive them." The final test. Can you stay silent? The moment you stop feeding them, they'll try to bait you back in. A random text, a sudden check-in, a manufactured crisis. Do not respond. Silence isn't just absence, it's a weapon. Final lesson, the dark gift of walking away. There's a reason this feels uncomfortable, because it's not just about leaving them. It's about leaving the old you behind, the version of you that bent over backward to keep the peace, the one who swallowed your words to avoid conflict, the nice person who wasn't really kind, just afraid of rejection, of confrontation, of not being liked. But here's the hard truth. The world doesn't reward nice. It rewards strong. It respects those who refuse to be diminished. If you've spent years shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations, consider this your wake-up call. Stop. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop begging for the bare minimum. Let them panic when they realize they can't control you anymore. Let them rage when they see their guilt trips no longer work. Let them call you selfish, cold, ungrateful, whatever helps them sleep at night. Their words only have the power you give them. And as you walk away, remember Seneca's razor-sharp wisdom. A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. How much of your life have you wasted in unnecessary suffering? How many hours, days, years have you spent twisting yourself into knots for people who wouldn't cross the street for you? You've paid your dues, you've endured enough. Now, reclaim what's yours. Your time, your energy, your peace. This isn't philosophy. This isn't some abstract debate about morality or ego. This is survival, the survival of your spirit, your sanity, your future self. Because every moment you stay where you're not valued is a theft from the life you could have. And if that doesn't shake you awake, if you still hesitate, still make excuses for those who've shown you who they are, then nothing will. But if you do walk away, that's when you'll discover the dark, beautiful gift in it. The moment you refuse to bleed for those who never offered you a bandage is the moment you finally start living. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.